Casper Graves had a gift or a curse, depending on how one saw it. He had an uncanny ability to notice what others missed and to see patterns in chaos. Once a forensic analyst for the FBI, he walked away from his career after a case went wrong. A murderer he helped convict was later proven innocent, and the real killer was never caught. The failure haunted him, pushing him into private investigation, where he could seek justice on his own terms. His latest case led him to Ravenshade, a town infamous for its eerie fog and a legend known as the Faceless Echo, a presence said to mimic those it had taken. People claimed it wasn't a ghost, but something much worse. Casper arrived at the last known location of the latest victim, an abandoned motel on the outskirts of town. Inside, he found the victim's belongings untouched. But the moment he stepped into the room, an unsettling feeling crept over him. Something was wrong. The furniture placement didn't match the room's dust patterns. The mirror had fingerprints, but the victim had been reported missing weeks ago. And then there was the word scrawled on the mirror, "Remember." A sudden, violent knock on the door made him spin around, but there was no one there. His reflection in the mirror looked off. His instincts screamed at him. He pulled out his camera and took a snapshot. When he checked the photo, his reflection wasn't there. Casper's heart pounded. The Faceless Echo wasn't just a legend, it was real, and it was watching him. Piecing together the case, he realized something chilling. Every missing person had vanished after checking into this exact motel room. But their traces remained: footprints in the dust, indentations on the bed, a glass with dried water stains. It was as if they had been plucked from existence, yet the room refused to forget them. Then, Casper found the connection. The motel's old guest ledger contained a name that hadn't been reported in any official missing person case: James Holloway. But something was strange. Holloway had checked in 20 years ago and never checked out, yet there were no police reports, no investigations, no family looking for him. It was as if the world had simply forgotten him. Through old town archives, Casper uncovered a disturbing truth. James Holloway had been the motel's owner. One night, after a dispute with a drifter, Holloway had been murdered. The drifter took his identity, living as Holloway until his own disappearance. But in death, Holloway had not simply become a spirit. He had become something else. A void where a person used to be, consuming identities to replace the one he lost. The Faceless Echo didn't just erase its victims, it stole their lives, leaving no trace of them behind. And now, it was trying to do the same to Casper. But Casper wasn't just another victim. Armed with knowledge, he confronted the mirror.
"You're not real,"
he said.
"You're just a shadow of the past. A mistake that shouldn't exist."
The glass trembled, the room groaned. A distorted, hollow voice whispered, "I am you now."
"No,
Casper said, steady.
you don't get to exist anymore."
Using physical evidence, the guest ledger, newspaper clippings, and crime scene photos, Casper reconstructed the truth. He forced the world to remember James Holloway, forcing the Echo to acknowledge its own stolen existence. Reality resisted, but the moment Holloway's real identity was reclaimed, the Faceless Echo began to unravel. The walls cracked, the air twisted, the entity let out a final deafening wail, then vanished. The next morning, Casper checked official records. The missing persons were still gone, but now their cases were officially recorded. Their families never forgot them, but before, the world had seemed to erase all traces of their existence. Now, there were police files, witness reports, and evidence that they had once been there, proof that they had lived, and that something had taken them. Ravenshade's legend was over, at least for now.